Fam, we gotta talk about the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime right now. We gotta talk about it because in case you don't know, with episode 282 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, they're doing a little detour. They're taking a little bit of a different direction for the anime, at the very least for this episode, because they are adapting the Naruto spin-off series Sasuke Retsuden into the Boruto anime, again with the current episode that came out today as of January 8th, episode 282 of Boruto. And I'm gonna be honest with you, initially I was terrified and scared to death. If you want some amazing and consistent content, please hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. I drop content all the time, anime and manga related, and I think you'll like, so please do. Wow, you know, we've seen last time with the Meat Eye stuff and whatnot, whenever they take pieces of content from other materials, Boruto usually drops the ball in terms of, like, unless it's canonical stuff or some really interesting filler, like the deeper stuff or whatnot, or anime original, I'm sorry, they usually be dropping the ball. So when I heard Sasuke Retsuden is about to get adapted, also there was a couple of other fears that I had, because I was like, that is kind of convenient that we got the manga adaptation of this novel, because Sasuke Retsuden is a little bit of an older story. In fact, in the anime they approach it as a flashback, so to speak, because this material was written in a novel that released around, I want to say, like 2019-ish or whatnot, the Sasuke Retsuden story. So it's been a little bit of a bit since it's been out, and it's like, okay, well, they never adapted it now. What would have pushed them like, yeah, let's do the Sasuke Retsuden adaptation now? Well, okay, before we continue, I wanted to let you know this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, a mobile RPG game for the iOS, Android, and PC. Did you know Raid has nearly 700 champions, and they recently added a super cool new faction called the Sylvan Watchers? Sylvan Watchers made their home in the Mistwood, which is a huge jungle in the east of Teleria, but you might want to avoid visiting because they don't take too kindly to trespassers. So if you want to avoid dying, you might want to check out the city Nyresa, and there you will meet the neighboring factions called Shadowkin and Dwarf factions, which have an alliance with Sylvan Watchers called the Naresan Union Alliance. And I mean, this faction just has so much of a variety to offer, each champion being in tune with nature in a unique way. Some have plants or mushrooms growing off them, while others are even literal trees. But of course, there's a lot more to this, because Raid has a special Christmas event that is for all new players that is running until January 9th. If you download the Raid Shadow Legends link below in the description, copy your player ID from in-game, and go to the URL that you see on the screen, boom. Not only will you be able to check out the fun festive adventure, but also you can play a new mini game for a chance to win some amazing in-game and even real-life prizes, including holiday-themed raid champions and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. Like, come on now, tell me you don't want that. Oh, wait a minute, you already have Raid? Don't even sweat it, because they ain't forget about you. Just go to the same URL and get a special promo code to get a small festive gift as well. But there's more. New players, use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. Not to mention, I'm still having massive fun with Ronda Rousey, one of the special events that Raid has had where you could get access to Ronda Rousey, and you could get her by simply opening Raid for 7 days before February 20th. So yeah, pretty easy to get. So what are you waiting for? Links in the description below, available for iOS, Android, and PC. Let's get on some Raid Shadow Legends. Didn't we just notice a few months back that the Sasuke Retsuden manga adaptation of the novel was doing very well? I mean, I reported it multiple times here and on Forever News that, yo dog, it has massive readership, okay? Like, it is, even as it stands right now, within the top 5 of most read manga, and it was at number 3 just a few days ago after a month and some change of being out. Like, Sasuke Retsuden is a massive hit, and I'm wondering if that's the reason why they pushed, like, yo, put that in the anime right now, that'll be a good look, yeah, everybody's liking that stuff. Because it does seem kind of sudden and quick, like, as the manga is coming out, like, the manga hasn't even finished releasing yet, boom, Sasuke anime, here you go, we adapted it. And jumping into the episode, I could definitely say that at the very least pre-production time, they didn't put that much into it. Because dog, I watched this episode, I started it, and I'm gonna keep it real, I have a very conflicted feeling about this episode, because the episode, for the most part, in terms of aesthetically, art and animation in particular, even throw in maybe the color palette as well, it is very unimpressive. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, it is very unimpressive. If you are excited about the Sasuke Retsuden anime, anime, I'm gonna tell you that at the very least, like art and animation wise, you're not gonna be jumping for joy at the very least based off of episode 282. I don't know if 283 and beyond is gonna look better. The preview for 283 looked a slight bit better, but it was like, dog, this episode, it's interesting and I'm excited about it. Like, I'm actually somewhat enjoying it just because I really like this story from, again, the original novel and of course the manga. Like, yo, Sasuke invading a prison and whatnot, and he gotta go dolo, and Naruto is suffering from an illness and all of this insanity. I'm like, boom, yeah, okay, and it's in the anime. But this episode, I don't know what manga were they looking at or what, because the adaptation is like, it kind of feels faithful to a certain degree, but at the same time you could tell, one, they're rushing through things. Like, the manga is very smooth pacing of starting off with the narration and slowly Sasuke going to different cities looking for answers regarding this illness that Naruto has that is killing him. It was like nice smooth sailing. But the anime looks like, hey, here you go, he's in a prison right now and he's trying to find out what's going on and whatnot, and I'm like, huh? But it gets even deeper. The rabbit hole goes very deep with this one, because despite my complaints, despite the fact that I am disappointed to a certain degree with this one, I thought personally it would have made more sense, like, yo, do Sasuke Retsuden as its own thing. Like, why not just do a 12 episode shebanga, put a budget aside for like a new IP of it of sorts, and that would be huge. Everybody would run and watch the Sasuke anime, even if they don't care about Boruto at all. Going and watching a 12 episode one or a movie or a couple of movies, something along the lines of that, would have been fantastic. But the fact that they put it into the Boruto anime already confines it, also adding the fact that it looks like they didn't spend much time at all on this episode. I don't know about what the rest of the episodes are going to look like, but I can safely say with 282, it looked like an absolute rush job, where there were scenes, like especially when Naruto is trying to stop Sasuke from going and looking for clues of, like, you know, the Sage of Six Paths, his illness and whatnot, to heal him. That should have looked absolutely gorgeous. That should have had the best art at the very least. Like, animation, you could throw the argument that scene don't need the greatest animation. It's just Naruto saying Sasuke, and it's not like we haven't had that a million times, you know what I'm saying? But fam, that should have looked beautiful. Like, even, you know, when an anime releases an episode, right, there's a couple of criteria that I gotta meet. Of course, the original material itself gotta be fire, the art, the animation, all of that has to be the best possible, right? But at the very least, you want some of these boxes to check off. And I will say, as it stands right now, 282, it checked off one box of, okay, it looks like it's a lot more faithful to the adaptation than I initially thought, because when I read the previews for these episodes, I was like, wait a minute, they switched it from a dinosaur to a dragon, because in the original story, Sasuke is fighting against a dinosaur inside of a prison that he can't put on the genjutsu because the dinosaur, like, has some weird eyes. Like, I don't want to get into spoilers or whatnot, but essentially that's the material. But in the previews that I read, it says something along the lines of that, hey, Sasuke is going up against a dragon, but I'm assuming that in Japanese they don't have a word for dinosaur, because dinosaurs is a relatively new finding that I guess maybe they never incorporated it into the Japanese language, because they were calling the dinosaur a dragon, and even in the previews that I read, they were calling this dinosaur a dragon. So I was like, oh, the Japanese just don't have a word for dragon. But yeah, so Sasuke is still fighting the dino, but in terms of like looking cool or anything like that, I will 100% say, like, it's a strange feeling that I'm enjoying it because I've been wanting to watch something from the Naruto verse for a while. Like, I really haven't been paying much attention to the Boruto anime for a bit. Every now and then I look, but I'm like, okay, it's not safe yet, whatnot. So it's like, I want to watch this, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna follow all of Sasuke Retsuden, because also the Boruto anime is going to be returning with the Code Activation arc. I believe they said in February at Jump Festa. They said, yo, we got it coming. So I'm gonna be on board, and it's like, well, shoot, it's a disappointing adaptation. The art and animation is subpar at best. The story is dope because they're kind of keeping it focal to what the original manga did. But to be honest, it feels like I'm basically settling for, hey, at the very least, we have something. And that's the main reason why I'm excited about this, because in all honesty, Sasuke Retsuden deserves so much better than what I saw so far. Like, the art and animation, music was whatever. They use a lot of the music that they use on anime-only episodes and whatnot. It feels like a rush job of, yo, people really liking it. This is a big hype. Boruto right now, outside of our core fan base, people aren't really rocking with it. Let's throw Sasuke into the Boruto anime. And I feel like it's a mistake. They probably would have made a lot more money investing into this thing being its own IP. Again, whether it be a movie, an OVA, you know, some 6-episode series, something along the lines of that, 12-episode series, whatever you want to call it. Like, it would have been so much more beneficial to the Sasuke series if it was like that, because I don't know, the Boruto episode again is like, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people that everything gotta be Mappa. If it's not Mappa or Ufotable, I don't want it. Like, that's not me, fam. If it's decent, it's decent, but dog, it's just, I want to give it a couple of pieces of praise, though. Like I said, again, it's staying somewhat faithful to the adaptation. The scene where Zanzel and Sasuke were face to face after Sasuke had attacked the Menno dinosaur dragon thingy majig or whatnot, that scene looked okay-ish. Also, it was really dope that they added something in here that we did not see personally in the Sasuke manga, because one of the things is, yo, dog, we also got Kakashi in this too, and that's another good thing. So again, I want to give the little pieces of praise that I can give it. I want to give it its just dues that Kakashi was actually added into this thing, because in the manga, pretty much they reference like, oh shoot, the book that you're looking for, that you went, you know, to the land of Redaku in this prison or whatnot, Kakashi actually found it. I believe Sakura tells him that. However, in the manga, you don't see Kakashi or whatnot, but it looks like they're actually going to maybe be showing Kakashi's journey potentially while Sasuke is on his journey, because if I'm not mistaken, both of their stories take place at the same time. Pretty much when Naruto got sick, Kakashi went one way to find the cure, Sasuke went another way to find the cure. So if they're gonna also alternate there and show Kakashi more, by all means, because yeah, Kakashi's been absolutely completely stiffed out of the series and out of the franchise pretty much with the entirety of Boruto, minus like, you know, the little filler bits, anime only stuff. You don't really get much Kakashi. Seeing Kakashi in here is also nice. Like, I feel like all the ingredients are there, man. You got Sasuke, you got Sakura coming in the next episode, which I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I am absolutely massively excited to see Sakura, because again, in the original manga, Sakura and Sasuke's relationship is so great, and that's one of the things I was praising of, like, yes, I want to see these characters that you grow with them from the very beginning of Naruto. You run through Shippuden, seeing them at odds, then they reunite at the end, they have children, they become a couple, they you know, form a family or whatnot. I want to see them as shinobi as a couple, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're a couple, but also shinobi. I wanted to see more of them going on missions. You know, a lot of Naruto kind of robbed us of seeing the original Team 7 because Sasuke left at the end of part 1, and that was the end of them going on missions. So it's a nice thing to see that in this series, in the Sasuke Retsuden, well, technically in the Boruto anime original arc now, I guess we'd call it, right? Seeing Sakura is actually really cool, and also I've gone on record on saying that Boruto era Sakura is so much more enjoyable and likable than little Sakura, so there's that as well. Okay, and also something that I really had to talk about is probably the best thing from Boruto in quite some time, and that's the new opening. You're probably like, yo, Fornev, really? An opening? That's the consolation prize. But actually, this opening gives a lot more than just an opening. It gives hope, because this opening, it's comprised of a couple of different elements. For starters, with the opening, they have a lot of the cast of Boruto that is pretty much, for the most part, utilized for anime-only type of episodes, like, you know, the Team 10s and all of those characters that you never really see in the manga like that. They pretty much utilized a lot of those characters, including the anime-only characters, Iwabe and Denki. So initially you would probably be like, oh gosh, that means there's going to be more filler, but considering the fact that, again, it's been confirmed that Code arc is coming, it makes you question, okay, well, what else is there to this opening? And fam, I mean, above all else, even with the stuff of the new gen, I want to be clear, that opening looked incredible. I think even if some of those Boruto anime original episodes were the same type of content, but were animated the way those episodes look, I think a lot of us would actually still even watch, because it looked freaking phenomenal. But the second half of the opening and some of the other elements of the opening, for starters, them having Boruto and Kawaki, you could throw the argument, little spoilers there, I don't really want to get into it, but the designs are very interesting. Then, as you move forward from that, you see a lot of other characters that are vital, some of course that are no more, Ishiki Otsutsuki, but there was also a major reveal in this opening that is arguably, you could throw a spoiler, that comes from the Code arc, which off-rip this opening confirms yet again, Code arc coming right after the Sasuke Retsuden, but it showcases characters that are only in the manga right now and haven't been shown in the anime, including Ada and Damon. You see, Ada is the female character that you see with the blue and I think it's red hair, the, you know, colorful hair. And then you got her little brother, and we also got the color palettes for the anime confirmed as well. And I'm not even gonna lie, that opening got me so pumped that even if Sasuke Retsuden isn't exactly to 100% my liking, even if it's not the adaptation that I was really hyped for, I'm looking at the Code arc like, okay, you're supposed to be the saving grace, and you better be the saving grace because there's some epic stuff in that arc. But yeah, this opening was absolute flames, and again, I had to throw praise. If I could give criticisms in a negative fashion, I gotta keep it real as well. That opening is fire. I'm excited for the Code arc. They even made the freaking Team 10s and the irrelevant teams that aren't really focused in on the main arcing stories also pretty epic. So kudos to Piro, and again, you got me hyped for Boruto, and it only took 2023 rolling in. Hey! And overall, it's kind of wild because I do remember saying roughly about a little over a year ago now at this point that Boruto's anime was entering the dark ages, so to speak. That it was not going to be that sunshine and rainbows love that we had with the 2011 version of the anime, because Boruto 2011 anime, you can't tell me that it wasn't swinging and hitting and batting 100 every freaking episode when it came to, boom, everything with Kawaki, everything with Ishiki versus Boro, all of the stuff from 2021 Boruto's anime was fire. But once Ishiki left, so did that fire, and pretty much we've been in the dark ages. So much so that even if we get a slither of light, like, yo, dog, this Sasuke Retsuden is based on some cool material, it's like, alright, dog, I gotta go. I gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? So this is me telling you that critically, the Sasuke Retsuden adaptation in the Boruto anime, don't expect much other than it'll be somewhat faithful to the manga. Also, you'll be able to see Sasuke, you'll be able to see Sakura. It looks like they're incorporating some Kakashi. That's a very good look as well. So you got those elements to look forward to, but also keep in mind that we're coming out of the dark ages, so to speak, and yeah, we're pretty much grasping at anything at this point and desperate. Because if it was any other time, like if we just came off of Ishiki and went into this, I probably would have been like, yo, dog, this is ridiculous. But it's just like, hey, you know, take what you can get. You know, the saying, beggars can't be choosers, and by no means am I begging Boruto, but I'm just saying, like, dog, yeah. And considering this is going to run for at the very least 4 episodes, I know for sure there's 4 episodes, I'm not sure if there will be any more after that. It's gonna be a fun little ride and something to hold us over, and hey, I get to watch some Boruto and something in the Naruto verse again while I wait for the anime to return to canon. So I'm mixed with it, fam. At the same time, it's like, dog, this is how bad Boruto's been since the end of Ishiki, that anything is like, just give it to me, please. But I'm extremely curious what you guys think. For starters, if you've seen episode 282 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the beginning of the Sasuke Retsuden anime adaptation of the original manga and light novel, what do you think of it so far? Are you yay? Are you nay? What were your expectations? Were they met? If you had any expectations, they weren't met. And do you think there's potential for it to improve? I mean, again, based off the episode preview for 283 with Sakura in there, it looks like it's gonna be cool. I'm just, again, like, hey, I get to watch more into this verse that I like, but yeah, it's kind of like, That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more.
Lights be flashing and looking at me, such a odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read bleak, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.